here are the beautiful Cairns mudflats. Huh. Yeah. It's probably a little busier than I thought it'd be. There are some people here, I mean not many, but I thought it'd be even deader. There might be people that are office workers and what have you, because it's around lunch hour just before 2, so that might be it. I don't know if there'd be any bona fide tourists here. Oh, there you go. I suppose you can always go out in a yacht. They do have those on Wednesdays. They used to have them anyway. You could go, you have to pay them about $20 I think, and then you could go out in a yacht. And the only problem with it, you're supposed to be part of the crew, but I didn't have to do anything. But you're on the bloody yacht for about 3 hours. It's quite long. It's a better deal actually at Port Douglas. They don't charge you there. You just buy them a few pints at their bar. They've got a really nice bar on the river at Port Douglas. It's much better set up than here. But anyway, I've only done that once, and that really was enough for me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on down there. It's all covered, all blocked off. Work taking place, whether it's just renovations or it's related to coronavirus, I'm not sure. But maybe this area is blocked off because I don't want people going into the common area. That could be it too. Again, a coronavirus thing. It's a bit sad if they have to actually just mark the whole area off, because there's no work taking place there. I'd say that's it. That's very sad that the public space has to be corralled off like that to prevent people enjoying it. That's not a good sign. There's probably plenty of other space up here anyway. It's I doubt whether they could cover it all, but yeah, that's a bit of a worry. As you can see, it's pretty dead here. This is usually a centre of activity just here, and as you can see, not good. And then you're looking down towards the pier pub there on the left, and that would be dead as well. There'd be, oh well, that'd be shut. That's even bigger than PJ's. That's quite a large pub owned by the same people. There's no way that would be open. So a bit of work taking place there. Probably a good time to do it. There's been a few McDonald's shut down in Melbourne apparently because of coronavirus. Quite about half a dozen outbreaks amongst the staff. Haven't heard anything like that happen here. There's not much corona at all up here. A couple of cases, but virtually non-existent. So all these places catering to tourism, yeah, you've got to feel for these people. Very tough. There'd be a lot of hurt in this area, a lot of financial hurt. You'd be seeing these for lease signs everywhere. There's enough of them here already. There you go, there's another one there. Prime real estate here, you would think, but 3 in a row for lease. And counting, I would think. Well, almost up to Woolworths, but yep, so far it's pretty well what I expected. Actually, I'd say the centre area is deader than what I expected. Probably because they've blocked off all that public space, the grassed area, which is really a shame. But yeah, I'll go to Woolworths from the. This is probably the front entrance. I don't normally come this way. I don't normally come the other side. But we'll viva la difference, as they say. Now, this is becoming chronic with these pedestrian signs telling me to go other ways. I'm not supposed to go over that way towards Woolworths. That's weird. Okay, know what the story is there. It's getting to be harder to shop at the supermarket every day. You see these places are closed. What's the point of opening? Absolutely none. Venue closed. Time zone, yeah.
Joey, once those are done there.
Yeah, don't be Sherlock Holmes to work out that businesses aren't exactly going boom time at the moment. This is not gangbuster territory. If you like empty spaces, it's a good place to be. It looks like one that's just gone out of business. Oh boy. It's probably... Oh, this place is empty as well. Oh my god. Wow. It ain't getting any better. Yeah, this is what I'm saying about getting people back to work and getting the transport links reinstated. This is killing the city, absolutely killing it. Just crazy. I'm worried about a virus. Well, I'll tell you what, people are just not going to make a living the way things are going here. It's just destroying so many livelihoods. I don't know if it's just me, but I'd be interested to see what people who visit my site think if the cost of supermarket items has actually gone up since the coronavirus. There's certain subtle ways I'm paying more. For instance, I bought a pack of beans. Normally they're loose and you get them cheaper if you actually collect your own beans and put them in a plastic bag, but that wasn't an option today. Now, it may be again part of that corona thing, greater hygiene, but it also means you're paying more because it's about $3.80, and that's fairly high for just basic beans. Now I'm heading off to PJ's, and interesting to see if there's any life there at all. I'll be surprised if it's open. It's getting a bit wet here, unfortunately. Picked the wrong time of the day to go out. It's very changeable, as I mentioned. Well, they've still got all the fencing up around there. Now that doesn't surprise me. Whether or not no, it's closed. No sign of life at all. So, as I suspected, they made it a business decision. It's not worth opening if they're going to restrict people to 10 people in at a time. It's absurd. These people in government have no idea how businesses are run, and they don't seem to care about resuscitating the economy. Again, more lease signs. This is disgraceful. This is absolute devastation here. You know, the place is dying. I hope Anastasia and other premiers are very proud of themselves, because with their crazy laws, restrictive laws, as I say, the cure is worse than the illness. Looks a bit foreboding with those clouds. Oh yeah, someone on radio talking about the restaurant deals, and they were obviously in a very large restaurant. They said there was a stack of room between them and the next diners, but because of these prescriptive rules, they were restricted to 10 people there, even though they could have had a lot more people in such a large venue and still be social distancing quite adequately. That's where it's just insane. They just don't think, these bureaucrats. They don't care and they don't think. And if this is the future of this country and other countries, we're going to be in for a major economic dip, which is going to be a hole we may not be able to get ourselves out of. Yeah, it's that important to get the economy going again. Yeah, it's just dead. There's a couple of places open, but just it's a rarity. I guess one of the only good things about this restriction of international travel is at least immigration's now being put to a halt, and it's going to force the hand of the education institutions that have been lining their coffers with Asian students for so long. I might have to actually go back to basics and teach real courses, because I wonder about the quality of the education that those students were getting. So that's not a bad thing, but you know, there won't be the number of permanent immigrants coming in either, apart from students. So that'll take a bit of a strain off the economy. It'll affect the bottom line, because we've been in a technical per capita recession for some time now. Now we're going to be in for a whopper. A recession, heading to a depression possibly. Especially in a place like this. Yeah, I haven't seen it this bad. That walk just sort of opened my eyes to realise how bad people are suffering, businesses especially, in Cairns. A lot of work to be done. It's going to take years to recover, I think. Yeah, it's a rainy old day, look at that. Well, I'm afraid that things have gone from bad to worse since yesterday when I went on that walk. I mean, things were depressing enough just walking around the CBD of Cairns, but today, this morning specifically, I discovered that Anastasia Palaszczuk has told everyone that we may have closed borders up until September or beyond. I kid you not. I just wonder what is going through her head. Obviously, she seems to be a puppet to the first medical officer in Queensland, Jeanette Young. She seems to be the one pulling the strings, and she's obviously ultra cautious, and she doesn't mind destroying the economy up here just in case there's a few extra corona infections coming down from the south. It's absolutely absurd. These people should do a cost-benefit analysis. They have absolutely no idea what they're doing. I think Anastasia is basically a very timid person who doesn't have much self-confidence in making her own decisions and is being led by the nose by Jeanette Young. That's the way I read it, and it's really, really depressing. The similar thing is happening in New South Wales and Victoria, and they're just going to run this economy into the ground, especially up here in Cairns, where we need these links, domestically at least. 50% of the tourism comes from overseas, so we're going to take a huge hit anyway, but by cutting off the rest, the domestic, we're left with virtually zero. It is totally irresponsible, and I just don't understand what's going on. All I can say is these medicos seem to be forming a bit of a pattern, because when you look at Professor Neil Ferguson, the hype artist, the catastrophist from the UK, who made ridiculous dire predictions about millions of people dying for coronavirus in the UK. The guy looks like a total shonk from what I can see. He basically doesn't seem to care that he's scared millions and millions of people, not only in the UK but globally, with his dire predictions based on shonky modelling. It is outrageous what is going on. We need real leadership in this country. I believe that Morrison has been doing a good job, and he needs to put his foot down and start pulling these premiers into line. This is supposed to be Australia. We're supposed to be a one nation, a country, not a group of colonies. Those days are past. Queensland is not a colony, it is a state, and it is part of Australia as a nation. And it's about time they started acting like they were in the same country rather than in separate fiefdoms and just boosting their egos and listening to these two-pot medical bureaucrats telling them it's too scary to travel within your own country anymore. It's ridiculous, and it's going to cause a lot more grief than any virus could possibly. This is crazy stuff, and it's got to stop, and I am so pissed off you would not believe, and I know I'm not the only one. There'll be people with tears in their eyes today in Queensland with this news, especially up here in far north Queensland, where people are so affected by the cut in the transport links. Totally irresponsible and devastating to the economy. I hope you're proud of yourself, Anastasia, because this is going to come back and bite you big time. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.